Okay, hey everyone, Five Nights at Freddy's fan 555 here. Welcome to my 30th Unity Drive crash testing. This will be 30th Unity Drive crash test video or stream. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit for the camera. Probably wouldn't be glaring off there a lot for not be glaring on there. Turn it off. So do that. Kind of helped. Okay, I turned the light off to see if it helped. There. Alright. Computer screen. If that helps. Not sure not. Not really. Oh, it's not the best I'm able to get it. This one other time I was able to get it closer to the screen of my laptop. Remember how I did it now. Unless I did it like this, which I might have. I don't remember. I think that might have been actually how I had it last time with other streams. Alright, that's probably the best I can get it, so I hope everybody can hear and see everything okay. For the most part, at least. One of these days I'll hopefully be able to have something where be able to show the screen on my laptop a little better during the stream. That's probably as good as it's going to get. So, anyways, look here real quick. Go back, make sure it's working okay. Okay, it should be working okay, I hope. But anyways, this time we're doing kind of sort of basically a different map this time. So I think the name of this map is called Containerland, I think, or something like that. I have vehicles all over here on this road like this. So this is how we're gonna, I guess, kind of sort of crash test by. So I'll try not to get my hands in the way of the camera, but if it happens, I guess, as I'm playing it. Alright, so the first vehicle we're going to crash test is this. So move back to here right quick for a minute. I have to move this over just enough where I have room to the steering controls. Playing the game on my laptop for during the stream. So I can readjust the camera a little bit so I have to be able to get to the controls for playing it. It's going to be kind of at an angle like this, I guess. So not really much I can do about that. I wish there were, but it's not really. But anyways, here we go. We're going to go ahead and crash test this first vehicle. Kind of show you guys how we're going to do it. Is this barrier over here, kind of like this right here, that we're going to crash into. Kind of like the side things for the bridge. Right there. We're going to use crash into. Okay, so the drive shaft is broken from after that, which means we're definitely not going to be able to drive it anymore. After that particular crash, it's on its side. So let's see if we can flip it back over. I'm going to have to move this camera again because apparently put it right on top of the CTRL button, which is what I need to grab a hold of the vehicle and move it around. So I've got to readjust the camera again. Alright, now should be better. Yeah. Grab a hold of it, flip it back onto its wheels, what's left of it at least. Front end is just about completely destroyed now. Under the hood, engine, in real life should probably be damaged, but it isn't. Let's see if we can grab hold somewhere, lift it in the air a little bit, look at it from underneath a little better. Tires had went inwards, crashing into that. Driver and passenger, don't know if they live or not. Set it. This other one here. Not how I exactly wanted to crash it, but good enough. Alright. Back to orbit. It looks we have landed on the roof. The engine is still running. Drive shaft's broken though, so it's not going to go anywhere. And don't really care if the engine starves of oil, because we're not going to be able to drive it again anymore anyways, because the drive shaft broke. Flip it back over. Take a look at the damage to it. Set the brakes on it so it don't keep rolling. Alright, interior view. Passenger and driver both would definitely have some head and neck injuries because of that, especially because the roof had been crushed in some from it flipping upside down. Kind of reset it. Got an idea of what we're going to do next, except we go ahead and swap out this vehicle first. Out with change it out with the gravel bar stove. We'll do the 291 V8 version of it. The M version. This vehicle we're going to send back down there, except we're going to crash it into that wall barrier that's down there. And I'll show you why we're doing that in here in a minute. Or I'll just go ahead and tell you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the flatbed truck, spawn it in right there, lower it down like you're going to put a car on it, and use it kind of like a ramp to run off of with the cars. There we go, hitting into it pretty much head on. Because we hit into it head on, we had destroyed and broken the engine and the drive shaft. Interior view. Driver passenger would definitely have injuries, especially to how fast we went into it. Orbit. Set it back to this way some, not too far though. Drive it back towards this way a little bit. We don't want it going too fast though. Enough where we get a little close to here. Change it out with the flatbed tar hauling truck. So find that real quick. This one, I think. I think so. We'll find out. Yep. Alright. Replace that with it. Oh, never mind, that's the wrong one. That's a regular flatbed. That's a regular flatbed truck. The one we want is the tilt up and tilt down bed on the back of it for cars, hauling cars off on. Alright, there it is. The car hauler is what I wanted in right there. Alright, there we go. So I'm not going to go very fast. I want it to go just enough to have it up against this wall barrier thing here. It's going to do a little bit of damage to the front of it, but not much, because we're going at really low speed. Right there's where we want it. Turn the engine off because we're not going to be using it. Okay. Then we're going to decrease height is CTRL and G. Hold those buttons down to decrease height of it. Discharge chute is O. Okay, that's not all of that. Extend is CTRL and page up. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's as far as it'll go, and then the tilt down is this page down button. And you hold that to tilt it back flat. That's what it was. Page up button is what you hold to tilt it up off of there. So there we go. Pretty much as far as it will go. Alright, that's as far as it will go. It's now set up. Ready to go. To use. It's pretty much kind of like a ramp now. So starting out, what's going to happen is we're going to hit into this here first on front end of it, and then it's going to hit into probably the cab area part of it first too, starting out, and it's probably going to end up crashing into this gate here, but we'll find out once we get to that point. But go back to our vehicle we have over here. Go ahead and spawn in another new vehicle to replace the one we already had that we did have over here. So we're gonna do the rest of it Boldy, I think is what it's called. We would do the gravel bar stove, but since the one we already have spawned in is really similar to it, so we're just gonna do but the one. We're gonna use the G4 version of it. So click on spawn new. Spawn in as a new vehicle that we're adding in. And of course, below, I'll try to give you a shout out during the stream. And I hope you can all kind of see it okay. I don't know if you can or not. I hope you can. We're going to start out with this vehicle first, I think. This vehicle really reminds me of the Lamborghini Countach, to be honest. The reason why it does is because it is kind of almost pretty much the same wedge shape like it is. So, alright, I'll pause it right as we're going onto and over the ramp, and already hit part of this here when I did that. Going in, we went into it around 111 miles an hour, and going into it, we've already broken the spoiler and rear bumper off, even ripped out the exhaust pipes. So now we're going to put it into slow motion mode and see what happens. I'm going to slow down to 100 times. Pause the game and watch the destruction of what happens to it in slow motion. It looks like we are going to hit part of the back of the cab there for the truck. That back corner, that back driver's side corner. As we are now flying through the air. Pause it here again, put it back to normal, regular, pretty much regular real-time speed. See what happens from there. Alright, we hit a power line pole there. In real life, it really was broken from that amount of force that we had hit into it and rebounded off of it like we did in real life. It would have broken. Went all the way over the fence and the gate there. And it does look like, well, we would be able to still drive it, but the part of the rear axle on the driver's side is apparently broken. And it obviously looks like it is, because the tires are no longer straight in the rear. It does still run. Just no longer drives. Get an interior view for any damage on the interior. Surprisingly, not really too bad of damage on the interior. So a driver and passenger, they would probably live from that with probably only little to maybe even minor injuries, depending on how bad they are. Probably no injuries at all, even. So it would really just depend, I guess, on that. So go back to orbit. go back to the truck, see how it looks now from after that. Yeah, that back corner of the driver's side of the cab, we definitely damaged when it hit into it. Driver would probably would have died depending on his injuries. Let's see if we can kind of pull it in this direction a little bit, straighten it up a little bit better. Alright, this should be good. So we're going to go back to this vehicle and do it next. Gotta start out kind of almost slow with it, because if not, gonna, yeah, like it just did, do a burnout, and probably end up losing control of it. Which we don't want. This I'm just gonna let go over it instead of putting it in slow motion for it. We're just gonna let it go over it. Reason why is because this vehicle is a little more hard to, a little more difficult to control whenever you're going pretty fast like this. And if you turn the steering wheel too much to a certain side, you can easily lose control of it. Landed pretty much right away. It landed on this roof as soon as we went over. It does still run, so the drive shaft isn't broken either. So we're gonna attempt at flipping it back over without damaging any of that underneath it. Alright, there we go. Start it back up. Yeah, we can still drive it. Still drives and still runs. However, the engine is damaged because of it being upside down for a little bit. It starved of oil a little bit, and that damaged the engine a little bit. But other than that, it still runs, still drives. From the interior view, because of how hard it had landed on its roof like it did, driver and passenger would have pretty much basically died instantly on impact as soon as it hit on its roof, pretty much. So they would not have survived that. So we set them both on the truck, just the cars. Just the cars themselves, not the truck. The truck is staying where it is. So we're using it as a ramp to jump off from. Alright. Change it to being slow today, which is not much I can do about. We're going to do the Crash Hard Classic car with it, which, to be honest, is kind of one of my favorite cars. Like, kind of like one of my favorite older cars, that is. But yeah, we're going to do the V8 4-door sedan, standard. And it has white wall tires, which I also like about it as well. You can choose which one you want. For to have white wall tires, you use. We're going to keep the paint color the way it already is for this. But we're going to do this one first. Don't want to turn the steering wheel too much. Don't want to accidentally turn too much where we end up hitting one of the power line poles. Try to get it somewhat straight with the bed of the car hauler trailer, or at least attempt to. Put it there, going at around almost 80 miles an hour, but not quite. For this, we are going to slow simulation speed down. I think we might for the other vehicle as well. So down to 100 times. Play and watch and see what happens. Already ripped out the exhaust and back bumper going on and over the ramp of the car hauler truck. It looks like we just barely missed the cab of the truck. As we fly over the top of it, looks like probably either going to go all the way over the fence, or we're going to end up basically crashing into it. We'll find out. So put simulation speed back to normal. We went completely over it. Did a nosedive onto the ground. Almost did a barrel roll. Alright, we're going to stop. Did a burnout as we came to a stop. Alright, does still run and drive. Though it is now damaged from that. Part of the roof in the rear had been crushed inwards. So, passenger in that seat, they would either have died from this, or they live from it. If they were to live from it, they would at least have, for sure, definitely head and neck injury. And for the driver and passenger, they would probably pretty much have little to really no injuries at all. And what I mean by little injuries is like pretty much mainly just bumps, scrapes, bruises. That's pretty much it. So maybe like a broken arm or broken leg. That's part of that as well. Or they could, possibly end up walking away from that with no injuries at all. And then their car, on the other hand, looks like this afterwards. And to be honest, I've seen a lot worse than some of the crash tests that I've done. Like, not on the game itself, but in, real life. Not like real life, like myself. I mean, like, through videos that I've seen. It wasn't a video, but it was a picture that I've seen at one point years ago, where there was this guy traveling somewhere on the interstate. I can't remember which interstate it was that he was on, but for whatever reason, there was a truck in front of him that had stopped or something, some reason abruptly, and he couldn't stop in time, so he ended up hitting into the back of it. Didn't damage his car too badly at first. Well, the bad part of it was there was a semi truck behind him as well, and it apparently didn't see the stopped truck or him either, and it had pretty much basically slammed in the back of them both. It hit into the back of the guy's car and into the back of the other truck in front of the guy driving the car. So what happened is a car in between both semi trucks was literally crushed. And the amazing part is the driver of the car lived. And what's even more amazing is he had no injuries at all. The only injuries he had was a few scrapes and bruises. That was it. That's the only injuries he had. And he lived. And I'll have to see if I can find the picture of it at some point, but there was pretty much nothing of his car left, except for his car had crushed in just about almost completely around him enough to where he had the room of his entire body in there. That's how crushed his car was, and he survived that with only a few scrapes and bruises, which I think was pretty amazing that he even somehow survived that. But it is possible to survive a wreck like that. He's somebody that has. Alright, sorry I didn't notice you sooner, King Ninja the Video Maker, but thank you for coming. He said, when's the next live reaction? I've been getting into Kid Cosmic. You should check it out. It's the same guy who did Powerpuff Girls. It's a really good show. It's on Netflix. It's already on season 2 and season 3 coming. Also changed the dates for the Awesome Team movie, which now comes out March 10th. Season 1 comes out May 10th. Ninja David series comes out October 10th. King Ninja Video Maker said, also, Ninja David team has 28 members now. And then when is your birthday again? And then 31 or 31st episode. 31 episodes are available on YouTube for Kid Cosmic. Alright, cool. Don't think I've heard of Kid Cosmic I'll definitely check that out sometime. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to, but I'll try to at some point. It's just every week so far has been pretty busy so far. Now that I'm going back to school for my fall classes and working as well, and also asking about my birthday. King Ninja Video Maker asked when my birthday is. My birthday was last Thursday now, September 9th, 2021, which was Thursday last week, was my birthday. I'm now 20 years old. I'm officially 20 now. So it was a pretty good birthday. Got pretty much got just some candy, some money, and a gift card or two, and some birthday cards, and a birthday cake, of course. That's pretty much all I got for my birthday. But yeah, it was a pretty good birthday though. And then last week we went to a hibachi buffet for lunch, which was pretty good. Pretty much ate until I couldn't eat anymore, which left me pretty full for at least the next several hours after. But everything went pretty good for my birthday last week. It was fun and everything. So, alright. King Ninja Video Maker said it's on YouTube for free. Alright. I have Netflix, so I'll look on there and YouTube both. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do it, but I will. So I'll do the stream for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to have to probably end it for this time. And something I forgot to let King Ninja Video Maker know about is he had asked me when my next live stream for my reaction stream is going to be. I'm going to try to do it if I'm not able to do it sometime towards the end of this week, I'm going to at least try to do it sometime next week, being hopeful. I don't know yet. I'm going to try to. It also depends on what my work schedule next week is going to be too. So if I can do it Monday next week, I'm going to try to do it then. If I have to wait until then to do it, I'm going to try to do it then. I'm going to try to do it some point towards the end of this week. But if I'm not able to, I'm going to at least try to do it Monday next week. Again, depending on what my work schedule is. And my next Lego Movie 2 video game gameplay stream, I'm going to try to do it hopefully sometime. I'm going to try to do it hopefully sometime Thursday. So that'll be after tomorrow. So hopefully sometime Thursday afternoon, I'll be able to do the next. Hopefully sometime Thursday afternoon, I'll be able to do the next stream for that. Or at least try to. King Ninja Filmmaker said, do you want to hear a true story? Sure. Go back to the game. Right quick, we're going to crash test this vehicle next. Get it straight. Now. It keeps getting hung up for a few seconds every once in a while for some reason. Don't know if it's because it's being slow or whatever like it is. Alright, we're probably going to end up landing on the roof, or almost. Yeah, pretty much mostly ended up landing on the roof. Kinda, sorta, almost did a barrel roll with it, but we didn't. Oops. Well, camera. Which I didn't mean to. Alright, stop. See if we can still drive it. Okay, yeah, we can still drive it. It's just a little more difficult to steer now because of the amount of damage to it. We had pretty much almost completely crushed in the back corner there on the driver's side, side of it for that passenger in the back. Front end badly damaged. Trunk area as well. Don't know if we can get an interior view or not, but we can try. Okay. Because of how old of a car it is, driver and passenger would have at least minor injuries, or worse, because back in the 1800s, or more like 1890s to the 1950s, seat belts, more probably, yeah, like 1940s, I think. Probably, yeah, like 1940s, I think. Seatbelts this yet. Whenever seatbelts first came out, all you had was the part of it that goes over your lap. That's all you had is the seatbelt whenever they first came out. That was around about 1950s to 1970s, I think. In the 1970s was when they came out with the seatbelts that we have now, which is the part of it that goes over your shoulder. Seatbelts that we have now, which is the part of it that goes over your shoulder, down to the part of it that goes over your lap, which is the way they are now, and pretty much have been since then. But back around 1920s or 1930s, didn't have seatbelts in them yet, so either they would survive from this or they wouldn't. Passenger in the back seat here, behind the driver's seat, they would have probably died instantly from that, or not long after. Go ahead and reset it. Go ahead and change it over to the one that we're going to do next. Let it load in. It's being slow. Alright. Next would be the Charrier FCV. I think it's either this one or one of the other ones. It's hybrid. I think so. Should be. I think. But anyways, we're gonna do it. Start out with, and then we'll do the one of the racing ones or rally ones after. Wait for that to spawn in. While we do, go back to here right quick to see for what else King Ninja VideoMaker said. King Ninja VideoMaker said, so last week I was hanging out with my friends. I was just talking to him about stuff that I like, and then I told him I like cartoons. They said they're for kids. So I was left and was really hurt. So I left and I was crying the whole day. But then I remembered everyone can lay cartoons, so I'm not their friends anymore. Also, one of my friends been really having a bad week since then, but trying to get better. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that I made you sad, but I just wasn't really sad about it. We're going to funeral for him this Saturday. He was the only one that helped me on the Awesome Team project, while everyone else was doing voice acting. Now it's just me working on it, and miss him so much. Please read the whole thing. It's really important that everybody listens. Yeah. So I hope everybody heard that I just read from him that he had said to me. So a friend of his had apparently died the other day, and he doesn't know how he had died, but he's pretty sad about it. I would be too if it were one of my friends. I would be too. So, and then his funeral is apparently going to be this Saturday.